Eating keto is expensive. What's the best way to eat keto on a budget?
Oh man, so one thing that we always talk about that's really great about keto is that you really get in touch with your hunger. So we find that eating keto is more like a net of, like a $0 investment for us, because we end up eating, so the whole foods that we eat are more expensive, but we end up eating less. So our grocery bill is pretty steady.
Additionally, we don't do things like get to a Friday night and drop 40 to 60 bucks on ordering from pizza,
Right.
like a pizza place, to get pizza delivered. We don't go out to a restaurant and drop 100 bucks on a meal because we've ordered so much food. Because when you're a carb eater, you can really put away a lot of food. I mean, this guy can put away a lot of food when he's eating carbs, but that's not true on keto.
I can eat a lot. I don't need to, though. I don't feel like I need to. I don't always want to. But yeah, there are ways to do it on a budget. So some of the ways are to, looking for deals. Like, how do you budget for any type of eating, right? The same.
There's a learning
ways.
curve.
Yeah.
But I want to challenge your thinking a little bit, because the standard American diet, we all know where that's leading most of us. I mean, if you look at the epidemic of preventable disease, heart disease, diabetes, and the complications. So what is the real cost of that? If maybe you're suffering from one of these diseases, I mean, think about, what does that disease cost you? Let's just look at diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is become a big concern in our country, and it leads to a lot of the other preventable diseases, such as heart disease, just for an example. So let's look at diabetes. You've got the cost of regular doctor's visits. You've got the cost of testing your blood sugar multiple times a day. You may need to go on medications. So you have the cost of medications. You have a lower quality of life, right? Because you feel there's going to be some feelings and emotions around having to deal with being diabetic. And then there's also, you can look at bigger things, like what's the impact on society, lost work time, not being able to have the energy, see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Like if you think about what
there's a lot of hidden costs.
Right. It is cheap to eat carbs, but where does being cheap and eating carbs lead you in the long term? And I'm saying this coming from someone who suffered from chronic migraines every single day. And I had to carry around a list of medications because I couldn't even remember all of them. And I would end up in urgent care, ER, and I would need to know those medications. Yeah. And I spent hundreds of dollars a month, hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month on medications and on healthcare visits. So I get it. And I remember what that felt like and what a relief it is now to be able to choose where I spend my money.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot
of having to treat something.
People don't ever consider the lost time from work and just, like you talked about, all of the little things that you buy to take care of your diabetes. If you don't live, say your average lifespan should be 80 and you live to 65, then consider the lost earning potential of 15 years. Those numbers can get inflated, but when you really think about what the cost is,
maybe it starts right, and maybe it starts to make sense to invest a little bit more in healthier whole keto foods now,
right,
than have to deal with those things down the road. So there's some food for thought. Great question.